My brothers and sisters, yesterday we had a birthday party over in the church hall. It was for a couple of young twins who are part of our parish. And I kind of wonder what it must be like to throw a party, any kind of party, whether it be a birthday party, whether it be a wedding feast, or maybe even some kind of anniversary party, or just a party. All of the preparation that has to go into it. You have to pick the venue. If you're going to feed people, which you usually do at a party, you have to figure out what you're going to feed them and who's going to feed them. You have to figure out what the decorations are. You're going to have to figure out who's going to come and when you're going to send the invitations out. You can send any reminders, or you can have an RSVP. All of these intricate details in throwing any kind of party, from a birthday party to any kind of wedding feast. We hear about a party that the king threw in today's parable, and I wonder how much effort the king had to go through as we would have to go through with a party. And then I kind of wonder what would happen if nobody came to the party, especially if it's a party you threw for someone you loved, like a birthday party for a child, or a wedding party for your son or daughter who is getting married. Nobody showed up. How would you feel? Would you feel that all the work you did has gone to waste? Would you feel slighted in some way? Would you feel kind of like less important because other people had other priorities that seemed to be more important than coming and sharing in the joy you're trying to express in a party? These are the kinds of feelings I think that the king had in the parable that Jesus tells us today. And rightfully so, you could tell that the king was pretty upset that no one seemed to want to come to this party, this wedding feast that he had for his son. I myself could say that I would feel very disappointed, and even to the point of being a bit angry. But I don't know if I would, like the king, go out to all the neighboring villages, like Morris and Litchfield and Washington, and level the towns like the king did. I don't think I would get that mad. But I don't think I would do the next thing that the king did as well, which was extremely and excessively gracious and generous, which was to invite more people. Okay, the people on my list didn't want to come. Well, I'm still going to make a good thing out of a bad situation. So instead of expecting the people on the list that I had wanted and didn't come, I'm going to go and just invite everybody. And we're still going to have a party. This is the gracious and generous king who was deeply disappointed in those he first invited. Would you, if you had a party and this kind of thing happened to you, would you react in the same way? Would you feel disappointed? Would you feel angry? Would you feel really, really mad? Would you want to go and destroy something? Would you be excessively generous and gracious and invite other people in spite of those who have not responded to your invitation? You see, Jesus was speaking in this parable about the king who he intended to stand for God. For throughout all of sacred scripture, God has always wanted to share God's life with you and with me, with the entire human race. And the way that God loved to share God's life with us is always through some kind of feast, always through some kind of party. Think of Adam and Eve, the book of Genesis, when God creates the whole universe and puts human beings in charge of caring for it. He says, look, he says, save just one itty-bitty little tree, you can eat and drink from any other tree, any other kind of plant that I have given to you, so that you may share and participate in my glory. Eating with God is a way of participating in the life of God. Just as when we eat with other people at a party, we participate in the joy and the celebration and the life of the one who throws the party. Well, because of sin, Adam and Eve said, God, you've given us so much stuff, but we still want that one tree. And because they ate from that tree, the party kind of fizzled out. Power of sin entered into the world. But God did not give up on us. God still wants us all to participate in the life of God. God continues to invite us to the party, to participate in the life of God. There seems to be two words that Jesus always seems to be saying in the Gospels. One you're quite familiar with because I always make a big deal about it, and that word is go! Go out, announce the good news, go out and continue the mission of Jesus who lives in us who are the church. But the second word that Jesus says a great deal in the Gospels is come. Come together. Come follow me. Come abide in me. That God always gathers as much as sends out. And note that both those words are in today's parable. God, through the king, is saying, come, let's have a party. Everything is ready. I got the best meat. I got the best wine. And then when people didn't come, he told the servants, that'd probably be you and me, go out and invite more people. Go out where you haven't gone before and invite more people. My brothers and sisters, the Eucharist that we celebrate every Sunday is first a foretaste, a promise of what God would love for all the human race, to come together, to be reconciled, to be at peace, and together participate in this great meal where we fully participate in the life of God. But not only is it a promise, it's also something of our present time, of who we are right now. People who participate in the life of God, but knowing that there are still divisions, knowing that there is still strife, knowing that there are still people who do not know much about God and God's love, that we go out and invite others to come and to participate. My brothers and sisters, God sends out our invitation to always grow in the grace and love of God, so that in all things that we can do all things in God's love and in God's presence, whether we are in humble circumstances or in times of abundance. God invites us. In light of all our priorities in our lives, how do we respond? Do we come when God invites us to come, or do we look to other things? But whatever our response may be, God is always inviting. God is always saying,